Hey guys, welcome back to the Multicast with Blitz, Purge, and Hotbid. I am here with Blitz and Hotbid once again. How you doing, guys?
I'm doing good.
I'm also okay.
Midnight.
Yeah, it's late for me too. We had a really bad time organizing this. It was like we tried to organize it, and then everybody just kept playing Dota games. And here we are, finally.
Oh my god, 3 weeks later on the weekly podcast. You know, these are how these things go.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, the only way this works is if I wake up or stay up like super late, or like wake up really early in the morning.
I mean, it's like 9 a.m.
Yeah,
for
I got
you,
up.
right?
I got up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad. For those of you guys who are watching on YouTube, I'm just gonna have like a player perspective from one of my games. That way, there's something to look at if you guys happen to want to look at something. This is a game I played with Blitz. He was the axe in this game, so you could just see me mess up and through the game for a while. Okay, first things first. Stuff that we're going to talk about today. We'll talk about the upcoming tournaments, ESL in New York. There's also the Frankfurt Major. We'll talk a little bit about the new patch, not necessarily like patch analysis, but more like our impressions from playing the games, not from reading the patch notes. Heroes who play, stuff like that. And then for our fun topics at the end, we're going to be doing worst dates, very happy moment, very sad one that you've had in your life, and comfort food or things that you do when you're sad, and the rise of CSGO. We'll talk about that a little bit as CSGO noobs. So first things first, ESL New York is coming up. Oh yeah, one of the reasons that we haven't made a podcast in like 3 weeks is because we've been really busy. At least I have in Blitz as well. We went to Red Bull Battle Gaming Grounds, was it? Yeah, Red Bull Gaming Grounds in Germany. And then when we got back, I went to my brother's wedding. And then we've had about a week off, and I don't know, laziness, I guess. It's probably my fault. I've been busy.
No, I have two. There's been like a lot of compressed casting nowadays because of the first major coming up being so soon that like I have to we had just like 3 weeks of casting MLG, the defense, ESL, WCA. There's like actually 6 different tournaments going on at the exact same time. It's kind of absurd.
Have you been busy too, Ken?
Yeah, just like the day. I have like a day job now, like an adult that drives to and from work. So I get home, I gotta like do stuff, make dinner, that kind of thing, and then
Wow.
I'm like tired. But mostly I think it's just scheduling between EU and NA. Like the West Coast and EU. It's like a 9-hour difference. It's pretty hard, but I'm happy we're able to finally get together.
All right, and we're leaving for ESL New York in a couple days. Should be pretty fun. The invited teams, it's a lot of really, really good teams, and basically what it seems like is going to happen is whoever does well is going to lead into the major, assumedly, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I imagine that it'll be taken heavily into consideration. Obviously, it doesn't matter for some teams like EG, but Valve, like, when they do their invites, if like, I don't know, if like, let's say Team Fire wins ESL New York, I'm pretty sure that will.
Why were you laughing at that statement?
I'm not laughing. I'm just saying, like, that's the most unlikely result, right?
What? I think it's more unlikely that Vegas Squadron wins at this point.
I agree with that.
Sorry. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe it's Vega and Fire, but like one of the underdogs, if they win, they'll probably get an invite, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I think so too. They would have
talked about that in the preview show. That CDEC, VP, and EG will probably get an invite regardless of whether they win or lose their first round match.
Yeah, I still stand by that. That seems like the most likely thing to happen.
But some of the other teams have to really do quite well in order to get an invite, so they're on the bubble.
Well,
secret, yeah.
I mean, even the fact that they qualified is gonna get them into the open, or not the open qualifiers. Like that's another thing. Like you could either be invited to the event, or you could get into the regional qualifiers instead of having to qualify for the qualifiers. So there's like 2 stages. Like even getting to New York is gonna do a lot, I think, and doing well there could guarantee you more.
I think every team that's going to New York is probably not going to have to go through open. I mean, that's probably
yeah. I guess that's true. Is there any knowledge about like how many teams are in each qualifier?
No, I don't think any of that stuff was announced yet.
Okay.
But only that it was like 4 days, I think, on the scheduling thing.
All right. What about Frankfurt Major coming up? I saw a picture of the event itself, or I'm sorry, the venue. It looked really cool on the inside. Are you guys excited for that, or like how do you feel like it's going to be compared to TI, for example? Because I don't know, it's very different. You know, it's in Europe. It's not in Seattle.
I
Prize
liked.
pool's gonna be less.
I liked my first experience was for like a major LAN was at ESL Frankfurt, the one or what was it, Cologne actually?
Hmm.
Wait, is it
No,
Cologne
it
or
was
Frankfurt?
ESL 1 Frankfurt. Is
Yeah, it
the
was
one that
Frankfurt.
was this past year.
Yeah, that was like unlike anything I've ever experienced. It actually felt like a real football match or whatever. I mean, Hotbid, you were there too, right? Like
Yes.
it felt like an actual sporting event. Whereas TI was, as like weird as it sounds, it was a little bit less hype. Like the crowd at Frankfurt, I thought was great. Like there were dudes that were like shirtless and like had painted, like karaoke on their chests and stuff like that, and like people were just going like absolutely insane. Like a player would walk by, like 500 people would like scream trying to get their attention. I've never seen something like that before. Like even at a TI, it felt a little bit muted. So I'm pretty excited
what
to
it
see
is?
the Frankfurt Major. What?
It's because there's just less Dota. Like the TI is so long, it's hard to be like sustained hype for everything up until like. I mean, obviously the last day is like a lot of hype, right? Like the losers final and the final match. But the fact that it's not double elim and it's only 2 days was like why the crowd was so nuts.
It's a really good point, actually. But it seems like all the lead up is less. Like the TI qualifiers, for example, we were in Romania for like 2 weeks for that, and now it's only going to be like 5 days for the qualifiers, unless I'm like completely wrong on the numbers and dates and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I really missed that. I had so much fun in Romania. That was like so great. I'm sad that I won't be able to like do like a hub stream or whatever, like the Mango stream, maybe next year for the qualifiers. We'll see.
Who's your spiritual successor
Who's
the guy?
successor for what?
for running the hub?
Oh, if I can't do it like next year,
Yeah,
probably Pyrian, obviously. I mean,
Ted, my boy.
I
yeah,
think he's capable.
he did a really good job. And then after that, I would like to put Slacks in charge.
You have
Do
a
you mean
list.
like after Ted dies, or
Yeah,
that's
Slacks inherits it.
you might have to wait a long time for that one.
I don't know, man. Pyrian smokes a lot.
Did you see Ted? Did you see Slacks' presentation at TwitchCon? He had to make a
No, we didn't.
presentation, a lecture, PowerPoint presentation for 15 minutes
Okay.
about the state of esports in the United States and how we can improve it.
I mean,
It was amazing. It was everything you could ever imagine.
was
It
it?
was like because I knew he was bullshitting and he knew he was bullshitting, and everyone in the crowd kind of knew it. And he was trying to make jokes and like it was like he did like a decent job, like some of the slides were really funny. But I want to give Blacks like a topic and then have him make a presentation on it 48 hours later. Like that's like I just want to see that, like like discrete mathematics, go. And I just want to see him do like a presentation on it because it was great. Check out the VOD if you haven't seen that.
Were there a lot of people watching?
I think it was like 1,000 people.
I see.
In
Why didn't
person?
you guys go to that?
Oh, TwitchCon. I don't know. I feel like I don't super identify with Twitch TV personally. Like I like it a lot as a site, and I like it as a viewer, but I'm not like a Twitch chat fiend. So I guess I don't really. I identify with esports, I guess, more than I do about like general gaming culture. So that's maybe my excuse. I just didn't really much want to go. I thought maybe it'd be cool, and it like some of the streams I watched seemed kind of cool, but I guess I feel a little bit over the travel and meeting people thing.
Would you go to the major if you weren't invited as a caster? Just like for fun?
I don't think so, honestly. I don't think I will go if I don't get invited. So if Fel wants to hang out with me, the only way is if they give me a job. If they're even there. I don't even know if they'll be there. So I don't know, maybe that's weird, but like I already travel quite a bit for work now, for events and random things. It's like once every 2 weeks. It's been like that the last month or so. It just gets kind of busy and burns you out and then hurts all of your other content. So if I'm just going for fun, like it's going to cost a lot of money, and I don't know. I would rather sit in my room.
You have to adjust like your time schedule and everything. 9 hours, get a hotel, all that stuff. And you're gonna be able to watch it anyway, honestly. So might even be a more convenient experience if you've been to so many guys.
I'm sure it'll be really cool though, and it'd be fun to see it on ground level as well. But
That week, it's gonna be free during the week. It's gonna be crazy.
oh yeah, that's right. The tickets are free. I thought that was a really cool idea actually.
I think they want to just make sure that the arena's filled. You know, that's the reasoning behind it.
That's a good point. Anybody that wants to go,
it is during the week. It is during the week, right? So, but I do think that most of the people that want to go will be able to get in at least. Like I don't think you have to worry about that very much. I mean, who knows what I'm saying? Like maybe 20,000 people show up on the first day. Half the people can't get in. Like who knows?
Do they ever have trouble filling the other lands that are in the area?
I don't think so. Frankfurt was pretty packed.
Okay.
From what I
Yeah, but they
remember.
use only a fraction of the stadium in Frankfurt.
Yeah, that's true. Do you know what the seating is in comparison to what Frankfurt was?
What do you mean? Like
Like-
like amount of seating? I think it's like 10K, maybe like a little bit more than that.
And Frankfurt, ESL 1 Frankfurt was 10K, right?
So one Frankfurt, I'm not sure how much the amount was.
I think it was close to that, anyways. I don't think they'll have a problem getting people there. I think it was like some stat that like the people on Reddit were mainly Europeans or something like that.
Mm.
So for
I hope they have a
for
big
Dota,
screen on the outside of the stadium. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
just in
some,
case people can't get in.
like the thing they had at TI. Like you'd go
Yeah,
outside
that
and
was really good.
they'd have like grass and screens outside. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it's big speakers.
We're gonna talk about pubs now.
No, I have one more. I don't know why I thought of this, but I just went to a family thing with my girlfriend this weekend, and a couple of her younger family members play Dota. So whenever I go to like a LAN like TI or something, I like take all the things that I don't want and I give them to them, and they like really like it, I think. So we give them like our swag bags and like little like pins and stuff like that. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but it reminded
So
me
you
of
just
that.
told us all that you gave your trash to your cousins. They're really
Yeah.
happy about it.
They're not his cousins yet, Blitz.
Dota
They haven't
postcards.
gotten married.
Those
Okay.
Dota postcards, dude. Is anyone actually gonna mail those? Not me. They're
They're
cool, but
his girlfriend's cousins.
yeah.
Be very clear about that.
So yeah, I just give them. I don't know, I'm like, do you guys need extra keyboards and stuff? Because like almost every event you go to, people give you free mice and stuff.
Oh, you give them mice? Okay, that's legit. Like I thought you were giving them like pins or like plushies or something.
Yeah, I give them a
You gave them a
plushie,
keyboard?
some
Like,
some
jeez.
emoticon things. They can put them on their backpack or something. Maybe find someone at school that identifies with Dota or something. Stuff like that. Mouse pad, maybe. Like Demi Heroes you don't want because you already activated the golden packs.
Dude, the Demi Heroes are great. It's just that they're so hard to transport. Like I can't bring them in a suitcase. They're like get destroyed, and you have to like
Yeah.
pack them in this like gigantic box. Otherwise,
No, you could take
It
them out of the
takes up so much
box,
space.
and then you could take like the plastic, like the sleeves, and then compress them together, and you would save like 40% of the space. I had to compress them down when I was leaving TI as well.
okay,
Made it work.
yeah, I'll try that next time.
We'll never stop buying Demi Heroes, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna put out 5 every time, and I'm always gonna buy at least one of each. Drop like $150 every time, like whatever.
We really should sell. I should have sold my stuff right away. My gold stuff. That
know.
first day
I
was
told you that.
so profitable.
Blitz sold it right away, and he
Dude.
made so much money.
I literally, Kevin, I told you 100 times at that Mafia table. I was like,
I know that
Just
was too
buy
late.
them.
I was gonna
Oh.
go buy more the next day, but they weren't selling them the next days. Like unless you were pre-order, so I couldn't get more. I mean,
Yeah,
I could have sold my Slardar like golden thing and then just rebought it like a week later for like a third of the price or something. I just didn't.
dude, okay, I'll tell people in this podcast that are listening or whatever. You know when people said that the Faceless Rex was gonna be worth so much because it was like a 1 out of 250 chance, and people were going insane? That's nothing. Like compared to CS:GO odds, when you open a case and you could get like either $1,000 knife or like a $50 knife, and the odds of that are like closer to like 1 in 2K or something absurd like that. Like 1 in 250 means nothing. So all those people that are like, oh, this skin's just gonna appreciate in value. No, Dota skins just sadly don't appreciate in value because there's not enough RNG involved with it. Like 1 in 250 is really small considering how many people were opening a Faceless Rex. There's gonna be like thousands upon thousands of that shit flooding the market. So it's like if you want those skins, just wait like a week, and it'll just like blow down in value. The only ones that don't really go down in value were like, you know, the golden totem things from last year or whatever. Where you
Blitz
could
is
get,
like a
the
market
Doom Wing.
analyst for this stuff. He knows
Yeah.
his shit.
So if you're like the ones that are just like that you have to like pay to get, like those, then yeah, they'll go up in value because they're rare. But the other stuff, immediately sell. Like always immediately sell whatever rare thing you think you have if you don't think it's gonna if you think it's gonna be available like in the future. It's like a terrible idea to hold on to stuff like that. No offense to you, Kevin. You should
No, I know I made the mistake. I totally realized that, but the worst thing was I bought all these plushies. I bought a ton of plushies because for some reason I thought that I don't know. I always buy the plushies and I get like the special courier or whatever. And every other year I got one, but this time I didn't. And then I opened some of the chests they came with, and then I found out later that they were $12 a piece on Steam. And I opened like 10 of them or something like that. And I could so I spent like $100 on fucking plushies. And I could have just turned it into Steam Cash at least and had a bunch of stupid plushies that I put in my closet. But I didn't even do that. I just wrecked myself this year. I really did.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I remember cutting the line with Merlini. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I've heard the story. You should probably tell everybody though.
They're all like waiting in the line, and then Ben's like, "Just come with me." I'm like, "Okay." We walk to the front, and Ben just goes up to the desk and just like, "We have rehearsal in 10 minutes. Can we buy our stuff?" And they're just like, the guy at the desk is just like, "Okay." We just buy our stuff before everyone else, even though the shop's not open. God, he was so smooth about it too. I was just like, "All right, that's how Merlini rolls." And then we got our stuff, and we purposely walked back in front of all the casters and like everyone that was waiting.
Dude, I had to wait like 3 hours in that line.
I got through really fast because I had a pre-order. Instead of
I did too, but they messed up. So I just had to wait a really long time.
Oh, that sucks. Well, at least you made $300 out of it.
I think I made more than that.
Selling your golden chest when everybody was trying to grab them fast.
Yeah. That was never again. Don't even open them. Just sell them. Just
Yeah,
sell the chest itself.
I made a mistake opening them. I was trying to get the bounty hunter. This is like stupid. Last year I got the Doomling and it was just not worth it. I did sell the Doomling eventually for quite a bit of money, but it was only because I RNG'd that.
You RNG'd it?
Yeah.
You went for the play?
I did, and it worked, but that's very rare.
Yeah.
Alright, let's talk about the new patch so far. So we've all played quite a few games. Blitz has played a ton. I've played a moderate amount, and Hotbid used to do only played like 10 or something.
Yeah, I played like only 10 ranked games, but I played like a lot of like unranked with friends.
So we don't want to talk about the patch notes because that's already been done to death, but what we want to talk about is basically our impressions of the patch so far, because I feel like everybody always says like, oh, this is going to be overpowered, but once you actually get to playing the games, everything changes a lot. Like, for example, we saw Elder Titan get a buff, and everybody's like, oh, nobody's going to play Elder Titan, but I've seen Elder Titan in like 30% of my games, of my solo queues. Like, people are genuinely trying to make them work. Have you guys seen any trends like that so far?
I've seen... I don't know. I haven't seen any ET. Okay, so here's my perspective on the matter, I guess. Unless Hotbid, you have something to say, because it's going to take a while.
Well, I think that each of us has a different MMR range, so it's probably kind of useful for each of us to give experience, but you can go first.
Yeah, so I have an account at 6.5k, 7k, and 4.5k, and I played ranked on all three of them this week, just to see what was what on all three levels.
You played ranked on a 4.5k account? What are you some dirty smurfer?
It was like
what
4.7.
is this?
You
That's
piece
messed
of
up,
shit.
dude.
You're off the
You
show.
have a 7k account and you're playing on a 4.7k account. You're the guy that's making me lose. You are why I lose games. That I need to go check your match history. Can we send this to Val?
in case
What
we
is
run
this?
into each other. No, but I have
How do I
one.
report you?
I have one to like play different or new shit. Does that make sense? The 4.6k one, like completely new concepts or ideas. On the 4.6k account, I ran Terrorblade mid a few times and Enchantress mid a few times, and I can't tell if like it's just because they're like 2500 MMR below me that it works, but Terrorblade mid worked at every level, like pretty successfully too.
I thought it would have been worse now at mid.
No. Because what ends up happening is you scale so fast with the reflection that you just go and gank. Like if you
What?
go gank a Wraith King, for example, like I would go gank a Wraith King, right? And the crit applies to him or whatever. Like the
Okay.
damage the illusion deals is like absurd. So you just say whenever you have Metamorphosis, you just go and gank, and then you pop Reflection, and you can kill like 2 supports and they carry like, really easily.
Wait, is
Because
the
it
damage
hits
the
in an
same
AoE.
as it used to be?
I'm not sure about that.
I think the
I don't
damage
know what
stayed
it
the
used to be.
same. The damage stayed the same, I guess, and the slow changed. So the slow's weak now, but the damage is the same. For some reason, I thought the damage went down with the movement, but I guess it's just the slow used to be like 60% and do up to 100% of illusion damage, and it's basically like back to what it used to be when it first came out. The reflection, it was an AOE like that, so they changed it back.
Like, I don't understand. Like, how is he stronger mid? Like, I don't know how the patch made him stronger.
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say, like I don't like him as a carry because I don't think that he's meant to just be, like your ultra late game 1 position. Like I prefer to just like run him as a ganker with like levels. Like once I get a decent amount of reflection levels, then I just always go to the safe lane because it hits everything in that 900 area, right? And you just pop Metamorphosis, and if you have at least 1 or 2 heroes up there, it's like a guaranteed killer too, like easily too. And I don't think you can do that as like a carry supporter off lane. I think you have to kind of be mid. It's like the surprise factor. Like I go up there at like level 6 with 3 levels of, or 2 levels of, what is it, Metamorphosis, 1 level of the illusion spell, and 3 levels of the reflection, with upgraded boots. Nobody can touch you. You just run through everybody so quickly.
Don't you think Terrorblade is one of those heroes that there are a lot of other heroes like this, but at least 2 to 3 times a game, they're gonna grossly underestimate how much damage you can do?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just killed like 3 or 4 people. Like this always happens. And, like every time you're just like, oh, he can do a lot of damage, but we can still win this fight, and then you just don't, and he just kills like he gets like a triple kill.
Yeah, that's honestly what I'm experiencing so far at TB. Maybe it's just people's unfamiliarity with the hero, but
Yeah.
I'm like 6-0 with the hero at every. Like I think I played like twice on my 6.5k and won. I played twice on my 4.5k and twice on my 7k, and all of them have been pretty successful.
What have you seen like missing? Or what heroes are like not picked as much? 'Cause I don't see Bounty Hunter as much.
Bounty, Leshrac, I haven't seen any of those guys. Like
Yeah.
the typical. I still see AM, but that's about it.
I see less AM than before.
I played against AM a couple times and with a couple times today. He's like barely nerfed. It was basically like a Burning anti-mage build, skill build nerf. I mean, like he still
Do you
farms
think
his fast.
he's not as strong because the other picks are not picked as much, like Leshrac and Lina and stuff, or not Lina, but like Leshrac's not as much.
I think he's still a strong carry, honestly. Like, but people are trying out a lot of weird shit right now that doesn't work very well. They're not like I feel like most players when a brand new patch comes out, like half of them read the patch notes, so the other half is like still catching up like slowly. But the main issue is that people are just really bad at adapting. I feel like a lot of your average pub player doesn't think about Dota very well or very much, and as such, they jump into a pub game and they don't know what the hell to pick, and it takes like a couple weeks where they start copying what other people are doing, where they actually like join the meta. So I feel like the first week is always like a crapshoot anyways. Like people pick dumb lanes, they do a lot of aggressive lanes. I feel like everything is kind of weird the first week or two, especially with picks. Like this one guy I ran into, he kept picking Elder Titan, but one game we only had magic damage, so we just like didn't have enough damage because you can't just like only have magic damage because then people just build like hoods and stuff, and then you get screwed. So people like don't think enough about their picks. I think right now they're just like trying stuff out.
I saw a lot less techies. None.
I almost see none either. I don't think I saw one.
Maybe I played him against them in an unranked game, and it was so easy. We just got a gem. I mean, I played Leshrac and I stopped my enemy mid because I was like 5 stacked with a bunch of players lower than me, so I just kind of like Leshrac the game. But we got a gem, and then we killed just like killing a remote mine and having it not blow up all of your creeps was so nice. We just killed the tower instantly, basically, because he wasn't paying attention and his remote mine didn't kill anything. So it was so nice.
Yeah, I think I actually think some heroes got over nerfed, but I think
Which
Techies
ones?
is about right. Let's see. I'm trying to think right now. I think in some ways Lesh got a little bit too nerfed. I think Lina was appropriate. I'm trying to think what else used to be really broken. I think the biggest hit was Storm and Lesh, right, in this patch, if I'm not mistaken.
Lesh lost a 9% win rate in pubs. It was incredible.
I think Storm's nerf is pretty heavy. Like, I played the hero a bunch in ranked to test it, and I was like 9-0, maybe 10-0, but it definitely feels like significantly worse. Like this, I've been playing Storm for, I know you know at least, but for people that don't, I've been playing Storm for forever, pretty much, since like Dota 1 times is the hero that I was known for, and this might be like the weakest it's felt, like even considering Dota 1.
Is it just the mana cost?
It's everything. It's the laning phase is like pretty terrible now because with the circlet and 2 Ironwood branches, which is my preferred build now, you only have 351 mana, and Remnant cost 100, right? Before, when it cost 70, you could just actively spam it and get your bottle, but now you can only use it 3 times.
It's two remnants less, right?
Yeah, it's actually absurd when you play so min-max like I do, and then when it comes to the late game, before, when you played against heroes like Lion and stuff, you wouldn't have to get a BKB because you could just zip around and outplay them. But now you pretty much just rely on your one continuous zip to do anything. Like, you have to pretty much kill them in that time span, or else you just won't. But I mean, I like the changes because it means that less people play Storm overall, and that means people complain about the hero less, and I'll have more fun with it.
Maybe you'll get another 5 movement speed buff.
I don't even care about that. I just kind of, I wish they would revert the mana change, but I don't think Valve will do that.
How influential do you think the fact that a lot of the top mids played Storm in TI influences, Ice Frog?
I mean,
he actually deserves the nerfs.
I think a ton. I think but the hero concept is so unique that people are always going to play it. Because it's just an inherently fun hero to play from a mid perspective. It's one of the higher skill cap heroes. Like, I mean, I hear people talking about it like, oh, even 4K players can play like Sumail or something, but that's just not true.
Yeah.
The difference between a 7K Storm and a 5K Storm is like as clear as day for me, anyways. So when you see like pros played and stuff like that, of course the hero looks insane when there's no counters, right? Like, I think there was like one game where EG played it. Played against it, remember, and they had 0 disables. I think we were like watching it at lunch, and the Storm just went like 20-0. So it probably deserved like some nerfs for sure. I don't disagree with that. But I mean, it's pretty cyclical, right? Like, the hero will be strong, the hero will be weak at times. So
you guys think Spectre will be really, really strong?
Yes, 100%.
Spectre's been picked a lot in my pub games, but I haven't really specifically noticed the reflection doing like crazy things yet. It just feels like regular Spectre to me, but on paper I'm sure it's very good.
I think this especially applies to like low-level games. I feel like Radiance in low-level games is like a timing mechanism. You know what I mean, Hotbid? It's like that Ehan timing. Like, once you get it, the game just like ends.
Yeah, you're like awful, and then the instant you get Radiance, you like get a triple kill.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's like pretty funny. The first time you do Radiance Haunt, if you like don't really crush that team fight really hard, it's like you pretty much lose, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not lose, but like it massively increases your team fight potential because you're doing like 200 magic damage or something to everybody in the team fight.
You almost can like guarantee kill the 2 supports almost right away.
Yeah, I agree with that. At the very least, make them use their stuns on you while disabling blinks that were else on the map and jumping around to wherever you want to go. But I definitely like the change though, because it changes Spectre's potential item builds, and she's had the same item build for so long, so I'm really happy with it. Even if it makes the hero a little overpowered, whatever.
Have you seen what the item build is so far?
No, I haven't seen pro builds, no.
I see Treads, Wand Aquila into Mask of Death, into Radiance a lot.
Okay, I saw a build very similar to that, just no Mask of Death, and our Spectre was a little behind.
Okay.
And it seemed to work fine, got Radiance, and then you went Manta. I like the stats builds now, definitely, because with Reflection, more armor or magic resistances is value, I think. So I like the stat builds after Radiance.
Yeah, I don't think going Diffusal as a second item is very good anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. Menta's probably for the best, unless they have silences, I guess. Then you can go Diffusal if you really want to.
I made that argument in a cast or something, and there was like a Reddit thread with people flaming me, and EE ended up going Manta instead of Diffusal, so I feel validated. But I definitely think that build is really strong.
Yeah, Manta's so good on spec, honestly. It really is. Like, the Desolate alone justifies the damage more than the Diffusal does far more. Plus, you get HP out from it. Yeah, there's, like, no way that Diffusal is better. I mean, Manta's, like, a way more expensive item, I guess, but depends on a lot of stuff.
They buffed Manta in general, too, so...
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a lot less expensive on mana.
Yeah.
Alright, any other heroes that you guys have been seeing in pubs? I'll talk about the support heroes I pick, I guess. I think Ogre is really, really strong right now. He was... I actually thought he was good before he got buffed here, but he got buffed again. I think Ogre is one of the better supports right now. Because especially because the lanes are weird right now, a lot of people are picking like weird dual lanes. It's like one game I had played line and it was just awful because I was against like a Undying +1. It was just a really annoying dual lane. It's just a lot easier to pick like tanky support heroes to be survivable, I feel. So I've been picking a lot of tanky supports.
I like that change in general. I think that those types of heroes are noob friendly. Like Ogre is really noob friendly. Like I actually think that CM isn't very noob friendly.
Agreed.
Because the positioning game matters on her so much more. Like having the extra like 6 armor and all that jazz is.
It's 8, bro.
Yeah,
so
it's. I've been comparing like CM to Ogre.
Did you see the meme? The Ogre meme?
Yeah, the +1 armor.
Literally taking 11 armor.
It's actually, I can't believe he got more armor. It actually blows my mind. But I think the support counter to it is just like Skywrath. You just get a lot of magic damage or something. I played Skywrath today. It was still really good.
I think Winter Wyvern has so far been still the #1 support in my games.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think Winter's Curse is still... Winter's Curse and Cold Embrace are still pretty insane skills.
Yeah, they are. I guess I don't play him that much. Like, I see the value of the character, but it's very, like, situational against what you're playing against, so I just don't like picking it early.
Oh, it's been in, like, I think... I think it's been in, like, 80% of my games or something. It's pretty insane. Hotbid just sent us this.
Yeah, I forgot that D&D. That was you. You made another blink.
I am Ogre. I am 11 armor. I am Rome.
Actually, maybe I didn't see this one.
This is how what's his name plays this hero. Mad was sports and gets like Orb of Venom and just like runs people. Nobody knows how to deal with
on enemy radioactive pony and hit him 1, 2, 3 times. First blood heard by all. Tank tower hit, 5 tower hits, does nothing.
Yeah, it really doesn't. I remember I discovered that when I was in Korea. I was like, I can actually just run under a tower and just hit somebody, and I have like 8 seconds to leave. You just keep hitting them. It's great.
He just shrugs it off. He's big and burly.
Any other heroes you guys been playing?
I play Earthshaker all the time, so...
So you got nerfed.
Like
how does it feel?
I don't think it's made a difference, honestly. I do the same thing.
Lose.
Yeah, lose or win. Yeah. I mean, I don't, oftentimes, depends, like, if you go, Max Fisher or not, but, if you play support, usually Max Fisher, but if you play off lane, then, sometimes you don't have to do that, so.
Alright, next topic. I don't have my thing open, sorry.
Real professional, Kevin.
It's because he made me click on that Reddit, that meme, dude. He wanted me to meme that.
It's very important. I want to share a meme experience with you. Okay.
Well, none of our viewers can see it. Hopefully they actually did catch the comment. First thing... Oh yeah, we're going on to bullshit topics now.
Yeah,
Alright.
This is the fun part of the show that people want to hear.
Alright, well, the worst date you've ever gone on, or a bad date. Who wants to go first?
Blitz?
Do you guys want me to go first? Mine's kind of bad.
Alright, Purge, you can go first.
Okay.
I'll go second.
So when I was like very late developing in terms of like me dating, so I think one of the first times that a girl ever showed interest in me, I was a freshman in college, and she was this she didn't have a very good reputation, and I thought she was fairly attractive, but she was pretty annoying. And
Wait, what do you mean she doesn't have a great reputation?
That's all I'm gonna say, and you guys can leave it at that. All right.
All right. Okay.
And she, I think I don't know. I hung out with her in like a dorm room party or something like that, and then she wanted to hang out a different day. I don't remember. This was honestly so long ago, so I don't remember all the details. But I basically went to her room to hang out with her and watch a movie, and she like
Netflix and chill.
it was basically a Netflix and chill of 2005 or something like that.
Got it.
And I put a pillow on my lap, and she like put her head on my lap and like tried to watch the movie, and like kind of wanted to cuddle, but her like roommate was in the room, so it was really weird. And I went to this went to like the supermarket afterwards, and at that point I realized that she was just really obnoxious, and I didn't actually want to hang out with her anymore. So I totally could have made out with her, and I completely passed it up because I basically went on a date with somebody that I didn't like at all. So that was a good lesson. I was basically like, okay, don't hang out with people you don't like. And at that point, it was just like a learning experience, and my story is awful, so someone else beat me up.
Okay.
Say something better.
Okay. I was gonna ask more about the reputation, but I'll go next.
She just, let's just say she made out with a lot of dudes.
Oh, okay. So at least you're not one of them.
I was not one of them, but
okay.
Yeah.
So when I was a freshman in college, we had an Asian Pacific American class that I was in, and there was a girl in there that I asked to like, basically kind of like a study date. All right. So
Okay.
she said yes. I was like excited. Then we go to have like dinner before whatever, and we're walking around, and I'm feeling pretty good at this point, and at this, think about freshman Hotbid has no idea how to read social situations. Okay, just
Yep, I know
imagine
that
this. Okay. Now we're walking around New York City because I went to NYU, so, and then we see a cafe, and I'm like, let's just sit and talk a little bit. And obviously this is one of those places that you have to pay to sit down, but obviously we didn't do that.
That exists?
So yeah.
Like you have to buy something, or
it's like one of those. It's like a restaurant with like an outdoor seating area.
okay.
So we sit down, and she's like, I don't. It's like not dinner time or whatever, so we're not really getting anything. She's like, don't we have to buy something to sit here? I'm like, it'll be fine. Like I'm overwhelmingly like filled with confidence at this point, right? So the waitress comes by and she's like, can I get you guys anything? And I don't know what possessed me because I'm usually not this kind of person, but I look at the waitress and I'm just like, we are not gonna order anything. We're just loitering here. The waitress, she looks at me, she starts laughing, and then she's just like, fine, you guys can just sit there. And I'm like, oh my god, like in my brain, I'm like, I can't believe this worked. Like this is going amazing. I seem like such a badass. Like this is awesome. So we're talking, and then, every guy that misreads a social situation, she says the words that everyone doesn't want to hear, which is she casually drops that she has a boyfriend. Okay?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So then I'm completely like, so I'm very thrown off at this point because I was already like, everything was going great. And then right then it was just like, I'm sure she like recognized it in my face like immediately, like, and that was one of the worst dates I've had.
Alright, is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn now.
Wait, how
Man,
PG?
we all suck.
How PG are we keeping this?
This doesn't have to be PG at all. You can just go.
Okay. So there's two of them. All right, I'll tell you the first one, which is the one people haven't heard. And it's gonna be really awkward because the guy's gonna hear it because he follows a lot of my content still because he's a baller. Shout out to Phil.
Philip.
He won't care. He's married now. He actually won't care, I think. Happy wedding, by the way. I don't think his wife won't watch. It won't matter.
His wife will watch. I'll send it to his wife.
So the way it was sophomore year, we have bunk beds, okay?
Okay, I already know where this is going.
Beds, right?
I know where this is going. Okay,
and
go.
So Phil and I think it'd be a good idea to both elevate both of our beds. You know what I mean? So we'll have one bed on one side, one bed on the other side. We put the TV under his bed, and we put the couch under mine. And then that's the setup.
Yeah.
So we both post each other's like schedules to each other's door. So like both of us know like when the room is free and stuff like that.
When the mess free.
Me being the terrible student that I am, I decide that like I'm just not gonna go to class one day, and it's like 3 p.m. or something like that. And it was supposed to be a lab too, so it was like a 2.5 hour affair. So Phil thinks, you know, there's like a 2.5 hour time slot for him to hook up with somebody.
Okay.
So he brings
At
this
3
girl
p.m.
back.
in the afternoon, Phil's kind of a baller, huh?
Yeah, he is. He was.
Okay,
He was like
good for
captain
Phil.
of like the rugby team or something like that. Like just this like huge dude. Anyways, so then what ends up happening? So he brings this girl back. I think her name was Kayla. She won't watch this ever, clearly. So
Kayla
so
from Purdue.
so he brings this girl back, and he thinks, you know, I'm on the top bunk, and he doesn't check. I think he says my name or something, but I'm pretty passed out because I've been playing Dota all night like a boss.
Okay.
And then he puts on the movie Twilight because for some reason, you know, she likes that movie, and
I had one of those in college.
yeah. So then I would like halfway through the movie, I like wake up. I'm like, what the fuck's going on, you know? And
Because your bed's moving, right?
no. It wasn't that. So then I hear like noises below me, and they're clearly heavy.
No. Are you sure it wasn't the movie though?
Was it? No.
It was Edward and Bella cuddling in the movie.
It starts off in the baseball scene. Spoiler alert! If anybody hasn't seen that movie where they're all just playing baseball, I was just like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Muse is the soundtrack in the background.
Yeah, it's Super Massive Black Hole.
Yep.
I only remember that because of that movie and this moment in my life, and
I know a lot about the Twilight soundtrack. Okay, I'm an expert.
yeah. So for like the next like 2.5 hours, they're just like sitting there like fooling around, you know, and I'm just like sitting there.
2.5 hours.
I'm just like, dude, I'm just like laying in my bed watching.
You didn't
Twilight.
think to like say something?
No,
or,
because that after the first half hour, I was like, all right, I'm hard committed.
The first half hour, you could have just gotten up and gotten out of the room.
I was like, I was so awkward. No, because I think they had been there for like, that's what I mean. I think they had been there for like the first.
Oh my god,
Dude.
you roughed it out.
You
Definitely.
definitely.
I woke up.
You
I
made a
had no
mistake.
idea what to do in that
You
situation.
should have
made a
just
mistake.
ripped a huge fart. That would have been the only good way to do it.
Because at that point, I'm like that creeper guy, you know, that's just like laying in bed watching Twilight,
Oh
and then
my
eventually
God.
he knows that I'm supposed to be coming back, right? So he's like, he leads her out or something. He says bye, and then I come out of the bed, and he's just like, "What?" He's like, "Were you asleep?" And I had to lie, and I was like, "Yeah, I was passed out." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "I thought I called your name. I didn't think you were in here." And I was like,
Okay,
no, it was
Phil,
all good.
What?
Will has heard you pet someone to Twilight.
How did he not see you in the bed? I don't understand. I don't know if your bunk beds were
We
like, but I
raised-
assume they're very similar.
No. We were raised like super high.
You gotta think of
And-
the angle, Purge. If they're sitting on the couch, and
There's actually no way they can see.
if they're sitting on the couch,
What?
he's directly above them.
How tall are your dorm rooms?
No. They're sitting directly beneath him.
Yeah, but didn't they have to come into the room while he's up there? Like,
Yeah, but I'm above eye level. And he had told me that he had called my name.
Yo, he's bringing a girl back when Blitz is supposed to be gone. You really think he's gonna look like he is concentrated on other stuff at that moment? He wants to know what happens to Edward. You know, he doesn't care about Blitz. He wants to know the plot of Twilight.
All right, second story time. Is this the one? Is this the one involving me? Are we good on that?
Sure.
All right. So the second one, there's a girl who I will also not mention by name because this one involves me.
Is it college?
Yeah. I think this was still sophomore year. This was when Phil was still my roommate. Phil was the best roommate, by the way.
Is
He
Phil
was-
also involved in this story?
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay.
So this girl tells me that she wants to do laundry together, which is like for some reason it's our school's universal sign for, you know, let's hook up or whatever, right? Because the
Everyone just
laundry
knew that?
machine is like downstairs. You just like put your laundry in there and then you just like hang out, you know? It's like a good way to kill an hour or whatever.
Right.
But like I was like waiting for her, and then I joined this like THR pub, which was like the site that we use.
Oh my god.
And then she
Alright.
enters with like her laundry and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Can you just put my stuff downstairs?" And I was like, "Here's some coins, you know." And she's just like looking at me really weird.
So she just
She's
did
like-
your laundry for you.
Yeah, she just does my laundry. It's like she's my
Oh
mom
my
at this point.
God.
But then she still comes back upstairs and she's like, because she thinks we're gonna like watch a movie and then, you know, we're gonna do what Phil and Kayla did. But then I'm
You're
like,
playing a pub.
yeah, but I'm playing a pub and I'm like Bloodseeker and I'm like 21-0 This was like back when I was like, this was like when I was a scrub. You know, I wasn't very good at Dota, so I was like super hyped. You know, and I usually just tell my Dota friends and we nerd out about how I went 21-0, but obviously she's the only one in the room, and so I was like trying to explain to her why it was so impressive. That I was like 21-0 as Bloodseeker, and she was like just the least interested human being in the entire world. I could just like see her face like fill with regret. But by the time I had realized my social faux pas, it was like way too late.
You didn't just roll to victory? I mean, 21-0, you can kind of snowball, win in like 15 minutes, and then go watch a movie, right?
No, I was like, I had to fountain camp.
Yeah, people did that back then. You gotta pad your stats too.
Yeah, because they kept track of your stats.
Yeah, a lot of people did that.
I was completely more interested in going like 40-0 than hooking up with this girl.
Okay.
So those are my two experiences.
The first story was quite good. Give that one a 9 out of 10.
Thank you. That
the second one I've heard.
Yeah. Phil's definitely gonna hear this though. Like he 100% is gonna watch this because if this gets linked on Reddit or whatever.
So no, we need to.
He won't care.
To the girl. We need to be like, Kayla, this is the guy. I'm gonna link a picture of you. This is
the guy.
No, because
she's gonna think I'm just a huge perv, like some kind of like weird.
Well, definitely don't show her the recording of it.
All right, next topic. A very happy moment, very sad one you've been in your life. Let's do a different order this time. Who wants to go first?
But you want to go first? You went last time.
Okay. A very happy moment in my life?
A very happy moment.
Okay. So as I don't know, I think you both know, right? That I grew up like super poor. And my family didn't have a lot of money. Then my dad took me to he like woke me up at like 10 a.m. or something to go to Toys R Us to pick up the new Free Willy movie that had just come out. I think it was like the third one. And like
what?
My dad's
there's
like
more than one?
Yeah.
How free can he be?
Oh, there's a lot of them, I think. Yeah.
They free him like 3 times? Doesn't he jump over that kid and he's just out
different.
to the ocean? What the fuck?
The stakes change Hotbid eventually.
Yeah, I think I remember Free Willy 3. I'm familiar.
Well, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's the one with the Michael Jackson theme song.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So, can you tell me the plot of it, the third one, though?
I can't
very
remember.
briefly, like one sentence.
I remember they jumped over this like rock retaining wall that's like separating sea.
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
Damn.
He very recklessly and negligently stood under the killer whale. That was ridiculous.
That was a terrible idea. If he got clipped, he was gonna die.
Yeah, but like that whale is like really like how can the whale control his aerial momentum? Like he would just crush that kid.
He's like some 45-pound kid. He'd definitely be dead.
he just gets hit by a whale.
I like how Kevin's like it doesn't matter how much you weigh. It's a fucking whale. Like the largest person on Earth would get crushed by that whale just as easily as a child.
That's
not your mom. All right. So let me finish. You ho.
Okay.
So my dad thought it would be very cool, and he thought there was going to be like a line or whatever, you know, for Free Willy 3 at Toys R Us, and it's just like it's just like me and my dad though that obviously show up at a Toys R Us at 10 a.m. And you know he thought there was going to be some line, but it was very cute, and it was my favorite memory I have of my father.
Wait, is the reason why you liked Free Willy because the name?
Yeah,
your name.
That was part of it.
Oh my god.
I loved associations.
Like you're literally name. Will Lee.
Yeah.
I just got it. I just got that. Did you know that, Purge?
No, I thought it was the Will when you first said it.
Will Lee.
Well, yeah,
that's
that
him.
was my nickname in high school too.
That's Blitz.
So how often do people say Free Willy to you?
Really often. That was like one of the more popular ones. Because that movie, you have to understand, that was like when that movie was big when I was a kid. So.
Yeah, it was a big movie.
Did you get made fun of, Kevin, by your name?
Yeah, quite a bit in grade school for the name mostly. It got like generic bullying in like middle school, and
really? Like
high school I was just like super awkward, and people just didn't tell me that I was being awkward. So at least I didn't get too bullied. And it was like I bullied myself mentally every time I think about how awkward I was in high school. So the bullying came from myself.
I got Ken-chan likes men. That happened a lot. That was very
Did it traumatize you too? It probably did, right?
And I told my parents, I'm like, from now on you guys have to call me Kenneth, even though that wasn't my name. In middle school, that's how I was. But eventually I stopped caring about it. But you know, I'm okay with my name rhyming now. I think it's a good story.
Hope you okay. All right. Do you got a story for us, Hotbid?
Oh yeah, happy moment. Okay, so, this was after I think this was during law school. And my parents really liked that I was in law school. Okay. They were like, oh, they can tell my relatives that I'm gonna be a lawyer. You know, it's like a big deal. Like, yo, like came to the United States, I'm gonna be a lawyer. You know, went to a good school, like Michigan. I think was like number 7 or something. It was like a good school. And at this point, I had already known that I'm not gonna do law because I fucking hated it, right? So I graduated and everything. This is like halfway through law school, right? So during one of the winter breaks, I came back and I was just like, I have to tell my parents that I'm just clearly not going to be a lawyer. I'm going to do something else. You know, I'm going to do esports. I was like maybe like 2 or 3 years in with Team Liquid, and I was like, I'm going to just do this full time. We're going to open an office and do all this stuff for TL. So I had this like whole presentation laid out, and I was like super nervous. Like this is the only time I've been like nervous to talk to my parents. You know, like. Because, you know, I'm like their only son, like there's a lot of expectations, like my parents like struggled through a lot to like put me in the position that we are. So, you know, and we grew up poor too, all that kind of stuff. So like the fact that they could send me to law school, like help pay for it, was a big deal. So I did this big presentation, like I was very emotional, you know, like this is why I don't want to do law school, and this is why like I want to do esports, and I'm like passionate about it and whatever, you know. And my parents just kind of look at each other and just like, okay. And I was just like, what? Like, I did this, like, huge thing, and they were just, like, completely fine with it. And I was just, like, very emotional. Like, I was just like, oh, my God, like, you guys understand me. And I was just, like, so happy at that moment.
But, I mean, you made a PowerPoint presentation to tell your parents why you didn't want to do law school, though, right? Like, that happened?
It did, but, like, I mean, they could have been like, this is a ridiculous idea. I can't believe you're going to do esports. This doesn't even make sense. They didn't even know what it was, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, every Asian parent's dream is for their kid to become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, right? Like, that's, like, their whole life has been planned out to that point, and they were just like, all right, do what makes you happy. And I was just like, oh, man, what the fuck?
Maybe they're unfazed because you made a PowerPoint.
Yeah, Blitz,
that's probably
I
why
can understand. Like,
I get it.
Blitz gets it. Every Asian kid that's listening to me right now, they get it. All right.
They're rooting for you right now, Kevin. They're like, of this.
Right now they're wiping their eyes. And they're like, this is a very emotional moment for me too. So I hope that happened right now.
It didn't. I'm unfazed.
Okay. Well, Purge, you don't understand because you didn't get put through the academic ringer like most Asian kids have been.
Yeah, I guess that's true, huh?
Yeah, Kevin doesn't understand when I have to send money back home.
Yeah, that also confuses me.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten the Asian friend comparison? Blitz, remember those?
Oh, is this where your mom tells you about her friend's son?
Yeah, like casually, like.
Yeah.
But the most obvious way ever.
Your mom does it casually. My mom does it very aggressively.
No, like, okay, well, it's like, oh, you know Johnny? He founded Motorola. You know, just like, he's like a billionaire now. And it's just like randomly out of conversation, right? You grew up with Johnny, right?
No, my mom doesn't do that casually at all. She's pretty aggressive about it.
And that sucks.
That's not something that white people deal with.
How do you guys still have self-esteem?
Huh?
How do you guys still have self-esteem?
Well, you know, me and Blitz have each other. We bond in Asian ways.
Do you think that's bad for you? Like, my life has followed me into esports, because now she just compares me to Ben. She's like, Ben got to cast the finals of this. Where were you? And I'm just like, this will never end.
No, Ben didn't cast any finals at TI 5.
Yeah, but he was like on air at all times. There's always going to be a comparison.
Oh, I see.
Okay. It's because he had to work a lot, though. That wasn't even... I don't even know if that was a good thing.
Yeah, I think Ben's casting now again.
Okay.
So more competition.
Yeah, Dust used to be kind of easier, and man, as many hours as they do, it's just not worth it anymore, I don't think.
Right,
It's
Purge,
so
what's
much.
your happy moment? You didn't tell us your happy moment.
My happy moment. I'm pretty... My emotions are usually pretty much around average. I don't have a lot of highs or lows, but I remember when IceFrog first responded to me, I asked him for 2 extra beta keys to give away to my fans, and he responded to me. That like blew my mind. And the first
It
time
was like a real person.
yeah, and he was like talking to me or responding to me. That was pretty cool. And when he added me on Skype the first time to invite me to work at TI2, that was pretty crazy as well. I was like, Ice Frog has added me on Skype. That was pretty insane.
How'd you know it was him?
Because it said Ice Frog and he had that little fucking picture, dude. It's obvious.
Yeah, someone could impersonate that person.
Yeah, I suppose that's true, but it was pretty cool. And some of the other times that Valve recognized my content was kind of nice. They used to do that on their blogs and stuff, and they since stopped because it looks like bias. But that was pretty cool at the beginning. That was like the beginning of the community, though, where it was like not very centralized and not everybody was really connected like they are now. So that was always pretty nice as well, just to get recognized by them. So that was probably some of my happier moments. Sad moments, I have a good story about that. I used to go to the summer camp when I was a kid for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years straight, and I really liked it because it was a good place for me to like get to know people and get experiences to be social. Because back then I was pretty socially underdeveloped, I feel. I don't necessarily think it's because of too many video games, but maybe that didn't help. But I did a lot of active things when I was a kid. I would go around the neighborhood, we'd play sports and stuff like that. It was like, I wasn't completely ignoring everything, but
Like baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I played baseball like 2 or 3 years when I was a kid. I played football for 2 years.
You played football?
Yeah, for 2 years
What
in middle
position?
school. It was basically 4 plays a game at the end of the game when we definitely lost. That was my position.
Oh, you were the victory cigar.
Yeah, basically, it was a really bad experience. I got a little bullied in football, and like I like back then I was really stupid. Is basically like I didn't understand like what it. I wasn't like very competitive or something then, which is weird because I'm very competitive now. But back then I wasn't very competitive, so I didn't like learn the plays and stuff, so I couldn't actually play really. So I don't know. I didn't get to play very much, and I was
feel like you
very
would make-
small as well.
I feel like you would make a good football coach, though. Honestly.
I mean, I could now maybe because I'm very competitive, but back then I just didn't like think about it very much. Like I don't know. I remember one time we did like test plays or something, like practice plays, and I was playing like defense. I was on a field or not an outfielder, but I was like it's like the opposite of the quarterback. I don't know what the name for that is.
Linebacker, defensive end, defensive tackle, safety.
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 Yeah, it wasn't the safety. It was like a corner. But anyways, like
Okay.
the quarterback
Strong
threw
side or
the.
weak side?
This is definitely my strong side. But the quarterback messed up and he threw the ball right to me and I just like knocked it to the ground. I didn't like catch it and return it. But we weren't playing like on an actual field. And then the coach had to be like, so next time catch it. And I was just like, oh yeah, I guess I should have done that, huh? Like I don't know, I just didn't think about that shit. I was really stupid then or something. But anyways, I'm super off topic. Yeah, I played a couple sports anyways. But I wanted to go to this camp, right? And I wanted to be like a young adult counselor. And I had all these. I had to like fill out a form, and I did that. And then I had to go like do this program to like this little program thing where they train us to make sure we're not going to like abuse anybody or something like that. And I ended up just not going to that, and I ended up getting turned down or something. I basically got turned down for the position. That made me really sad because it was like an emotional thing for me. And then I ended up playing Halo instead, and I was like, man, this like it's really amazing. You can actually hide from your emotional problems by playing video games. That was the first time I really felt like that because I was actually really sad about not getting accepted to the program because it was like the first summer that I wasn't going. So that was probably one of my sadder moments. But I haven't had too many sad moments in my life, luckily. But that was definitely one of them.
Blitz, you want to go next or me? I can go next.
You can go next.
All right, mine also involves summer camp. So during the summer camp of I think between 8th grade between either high school and college or like between sophomore and junior year of it had to be in between sophomore and junior year of high school. Okay, so I also was not the most popular kid in high school, so I wasn't very socially like happy or confident, whatever. So I went to the summer camp at I think my parents sent me to Yale. Like it was like a Yale summer camp, okay? So and I got there and I could be like a completely different person, like when you just decide that you're just gonna be a different person. When you
I
meet
did
a
that
whole
one
bunch of new
summer.
people.
Yeah.
And apparently new Hotbid is amazing. Like people like new Hotbid. Like new Hotbid is confident. Like he's not awkward. People don't make fun of his name. Like it's great. So I meet all these new kids. We're having fun. We're hanging out. and I completely ignore the academic side of the summer camp. Like, I literally get like Fs, right? Like, I don't pay attention in class. Like, I don't do any of the academic stuff because I'm just like, this is an entirely new social experience for me, you know? I'm just enjoying it that much. So, we're on the last day, right? It's the last day of summer camp. And everyone is in the lounge, like watching a movie, and it's like the next day people are like leaving like in the morning, right? So it's like all these kids that I probably won't see again just because they're all going to their separate schools in like different locations. They're not all like local. I don't know anyone there from like my school. And everyone's like saying goodbye, telling stories. And I'm just like, I'm getting like more emotional as the night goes on. And I think it mattered more to me than it did to them just because, I mean, like, they're like normally socially well-adjusted kids. So I remember the movie very specifically. It was Armageddon, okay?
Okay.
And it was playing in the background. And I remember the end of Armageddon is when, spoiler alert, Bruce Willis dies, right? And then there's this like montage of his like him and like his daughter, and like he saves the Earth from the asteroid, and like there's like fucking music, and it's just going crazy, and like the shuttle lands, and like Ben Affleck runs out, he's like fucking sprinting, and it's like Liv Tyler, and they like hug, and they're like really happy, and the Earth is saved. And I remember just being like, holy shit, like I'm never gonna see these people again. I'm so sad. And I literally like cried at the end of Armageddon. And that's my story. And I still get emotional every time I watch that movie and I see the ending.
You're never gonna have that camp experience ever again.
I know. It was so innocent and like happy then. I remember.
I had the same thing one summer. Like I became like the popular kid in the group, even though I had like just left like my freshman year of high school where I was like a super outcast. Like it was very weird, but like in small groups of people, like the social dynamics completely changed. And that was the first time I learned that. It was really interesting.
Yeah. Blitz, you got a sad story? You got a sad story for me?
Dude, I've only got sad stories for you.
Well, I mean, we could go on and on about sad stories, but you know, you have to tell one.
Okay, I'll tell you a sad story. So I'm a senior year of college, okay? And my roommate Pete was like, wait, no, it wasn't Pete, it was Sam. My roommate Sam was like, hey, let's go pick up Ken. I don't know if either of you guys have ever met Ken. I think you might have.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just played Dota with him.
Yeah. So he's like, let's go pick up Ken from the airport. And we live like 2 hours away from the airport. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. But then I have an idea. I Google, you know, Carl's Jr.?
Mm-hmm.
I Google Carl's Jr. and I see that there's one, it's called a Hardee's or whatever in the Midwest.
Yep.
Okay.
But my friend's like, it's like the same thing. And I was like, oh my God. And I hadn't had a Western bacon cheeseburger in over a year and a half. And that was my favorite meal before Wingstop was invented. So I'm like, I'm so down to take this 2 hour fucking trip. It's actually like 4 hours total. It's quite long. And I hate leaving my house, but I'm so down just to have the Western bacon cheeseburger. And my friend promises me that we will stop by to get it. Okay? So we go and pick up Ken from the airport, and on our way back, we make the pit stop or detour or whatever, and we arrive at a Hardee's, and I'm like super excited. I've never built up like a moment more in my entire life. Like this is actually no sarcasm intended or, you know, embellishment. I was like through the moon happy because I hadn't been home in like over a year because I stayed at school for the summer with all my friends, and I hadn't gone back for Christmas.
Story's getting weird.
And so I enter the Hardee's, and I notice that they don't have a Western bacon cheeseburger.
This is.
And
I can't believe you're following my fucking camp story with your cheeseburger bullshit.
Can you let me finish?
What is this?
So I collapse on the floor, and I'm just like, I'm almost like, I'm not crying, but I'm just like torn up inside.
Oh my!
I'm just dead.
You are making this up.
I swear to God.
You are making this up. Purge, give me the odds on how much he's making this up.
You can literally contact Ken. Ask Kevin.
Collapsed on the floor about a cheeseburger.
Ask him when I cried when I
There's
first
no
had
way.
Wingstop on the way
There's
back.
no fucking way.
I don't remember you crying, but you definitely like fast food a lot.
I cannot believe one of your saddest moments is not getting the right type of fucking cheeseburger.
No, if you
are
have
you
not
serious?
Have you had a Western bacon cheeseburger?
Oh
You
my
can.
God.
You live in the
What
West
the-
Coast.
Oh
You
my!
can, you can
That is
ask, I will set you up with we will bring Ken on the podcast next week.
Oh my
I
god.
will literally get Ken on the podcast.
I don't want your fucking friend to lie for you. So maybe we shouldn't do that. Oh, that is a sad moment from you.
That was like top 10.
A sad moment for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
I can't believe you just told that story.
That was a rough moment.
I still don't believe you. It's like 50-50 for me.
Why would I? I'm telling you that happened.
I mean, I think you're pathologically lying about it over and over.
No,
Every time you tell the story.
That was literally an experience that I had in my life.
Okay. So, do you guys have a thing that you do when you get sad to make yourself feel better? I think that was the segue.
Yeah, I eat Western bacon cheeseburgers.
Okay, no, but seriously, you fuck.
That's literally what I do.
You eat the cheese, but okay, but
it's not just a cheeseburger. That's
you just eat your problems away.
Yeah.
Like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah,
he says that
without the kung fu part.
He says he eats when he's upset.
I usually just stay up later and play games. I'll, like, wait until like 11 p.m. and then I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna play games for 3 hours now.
Do you guys have a go-to song or movie?
No, I don't really like watch media personally, and I don't listen to music.
You and I are different, Purge. I have read Game of Thrones like 10 times.
I want to read it, but it just takes so much time. I could be playing Dota instead.
Blitz?
I watch Good Will Hunting and listen to Elliott Smith when I get really sad.
Dude, that's the real depression shit right there.
Yeah. But it's been a while since I've done that. My life's been pretty happy lately.
I watched We Bought a Zoo. Have you ever watched that movie?
No.
Isn't that recent?
2011, I think. Not sure. Hold on,
Okay.
let me look it up.
God, that's not even recent. Time passes by so fast. Holy crap.
Do you want me to describe the plot of We Bought a Zoo?
No, because I'm gonna watch it now.
It's about a guy that buys a zoo.
Wow.
Okay, and it's Matt Damon. Matt Damon's in it, so there's a connection. Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
You can imagine that he went to California, found the girl, and he bought a zoo. So it's like a continuation of the.
Has Heyoka told you the fish and chip story? That reminds me of the fish and chip story.
The fish and chip story?
Me and Heyoka went to a diner, and I asked the waiter what was in the fish and chips. But what I meant to ask him was, like, does it come with clam chowder? But I just asked, like, what comes in the fish and chips? And he stops and he gives me, like, the angriest answer. He's like, fish and chips. And Heyoka just, like, dies laughing. I did not tip that guy.
Yeah, why would he do that? He's just asking to, like, get punished.
Yeah, that was just a dick move. I was like, what?
Yeah. That is when I tried to tell Kenneget that I would pay for his dinner if he could order chicken Fahjaitas, but pronounce it like that without laughing. I was like, if you can order chicken Fahjaitas to this waitress and just not laugh or like break out in a smile or anything, and just order it completely seriously, I'll pay for your dinner. And he did it. Credit to him, he didn't laugh at all, and I had to pay $14 for his chicken Fahjaitas. And the waitress definitely, like, it made her like hitch, like she like had to maintain seriousness.
But she was
the rest
a pro
of the table
about it?
was fucking dying. Just like, yeah, she was a pro.
Go her.
But We Bought a Zoo is my comfort movie. It's got Scarlett Johansson. It's got Matt Damon. It's got little kids that are cute. They fall in love. There's animals in it. There's a good soundtrack.
Dude, I feel like you're ruining this movie for me. Like,
it's gonna be like some animal they love that dies right at the climax, and that's what brings them all together.
It's not Marley and Me.
I mean, come on. I would not pick a movie that is sad to help cheer me up. Like, it's a happy movie.
That's what I do, though.
Oh, you go so sad. You go like you watch a movie that's like really sad. It's like makes you think less sad. Like you're like, I am less sad than this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're going for. Okay. I mean, then if that's the case, I go to our law school. And I just read people complaining about their fucking jobs. But yeah, that is my comfort movie.
Alright, we have Rise of CSGO left on the list. You guys want to talk about that out? basically currently we feed a lot of items. At least Blitz does, and I kind of do sometimes too. How many knives have you opened now?
I think I'm on like 11. Me
Yeah,
and
that's
Corinne
a
just
lot.
opened one last night together. She's
Blitz,
like, let's open a knife.
You're actually like, I actually think you're very much distorting the odds of how many things you buy. Can you tell me exactly how many cases have you bought total?
Like, I want to say about, I think now the number's at like 675 or something.
Can we get a screenshot of the?
That's
I
like
can do that.
that's how many chests you've opened.
Yeah.
So it's like actually a shitload. But how many knives have you gotten?
Like 11 or 12?
That's
Okay.
actually like so out of the norm that I don't believe you. Isn't it 1 out of 1,800 or something?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I mean, Kevin
So
saw me
you open 600 and you got 11 knives. You're telling me that you like can you do the math on that, Kevin? Like, can that
Kevin
even
was
happen?
there for like 3 of those though.
Can that
Yeah,
even
I've seen
happen?
quite a few.
Yeah, I have pretty good luck.
How does that even
yeah.
happen? You
Yeah,
need to
we
go
went
to
to-
Vegas.
We went to the Red Bull land and I opened one. I told Shane I was gonna open
Yeah.
one and I did. And then we sat in a Skype group and on like my 3rd case, I got a Doppler. It was nice.
I mean, the
There's-
only time I've ever been that lucky is when I was in the crowd during a Falcon demonstration, and the Falcon flew right at me. I'm not
You were
even
the chosen one?
It like flew right at me, and I ducked, and it hit my seat.
I think I
Like-
streamed 2 of them too though.
Yo, I got
I
really
don't know.
lucky this one time. I was in college and it was at this like poker night thing. It's like one of those things where they try to get people to go do shit instead of boozing up. And there was a raffle at the end, and as they were picking the name out, I was like, "It's gonna be me." And it was fucking me. And it was the first generation iPod Nano. Felt so special.
Dang,
I
that is
felt
pretty
I felt
baller.
fucking psychic, dude. Because she put her hand in the general part of the bucket where my name was, because I remembered where I like about where I put it in, and I just fucking felt it. It's magical.
Oh, I have a story that relates to chance that isn't related to CS:GO. Do you guys want to hear that, or do you guys want to talk about the rise of CS:GO?
Is it a good story?
Yes.
Let's just
Okay,
tell
then
stories.
obviously, yeah.
We're not that
Okay.
qualified to talk about why CS:GO
I
is
mean,
popular.
fuck CS:GO. I mean, no Dota people don't want to hear about that shit. All right, so there's a poker night organized by the Asian Pacific American Society. Okay.
Why are you in this group?
I'm not in it. They hired me to, not hired, but because they didn't pay me, but they asked me to help run their poker tournament because they knew I played poker, okay? Because I played
Okay.
poker online and they watched me play it before. So I was organizing their event, and one of their government people was actually playing in it, and he made it to the final table, and and they're still playing, and I go to them and I'm like, you know how bad it looks if your government, if like your secretary or whatever wins the poker tournament that you guys put on for like charity or whatever, like they win like a fucking, I don't know what the prize was. It was like a $200 like gift certificate or something, right? And they're like, yeah, like actually we didn't think about that. Like we didn't think he would get that far because he's actually not good at poker. But if he wins, it looks incredibly bad for our entire organization, right?
Yeah.
But that guy did not want to lose, right? Obviously, he's like playing. So we're like, so eventually we had to like call a break and we tell him, you need to lose, like, but you can't make it super obvious because then it would be obvious that you're losing, right? You can't just like donate all your chips to someone, right? And at this point, the table was already down to 4 people, okay? And the guy's like basically refusing to do it. He's like, I want to play this out. Like I've never won something like this in my life. Like I don't think it'll be a big deal if I win, right?
Mhm.
And we're just like all the other people are like, what the fuck? Like what's gonna, like if he wins, it's gonna ruin like our reputation. So we have to make him lose. Like it's literally down to 2 people, right? It's him and this other guy that's actually kind of bad at poker. So he was like, they're like kind of even in chips, and we're just like dealing cards, and we're just like, shit, like he's gonna win. Like we're gonna, like this is gonna happen. So they made me rig the deck. Like I was dealing, right? And they made me rig the deck so that guy would lose. Like they pulled me aside and were just like, you need to make him lose. Like, and I'm like, okay. So in classic, like at this point I just didn't care at all, and I gave them ace versus king, and I had the flop come quads for the king guy, and I had the ace guy go runner aces over kings to beat that guy, right? And everyone, all the government people were looking at me with the dirtiest looks. They're like, you couldn't have made it like just a little bit more believable. You had to make it fucking runner aces over kings. And I was just like I don't care. Like this is you wanted me to rig it. Like I rigged it, you know. And
So
the guy loses.
wait. I don't know the poker term too well. So what was the flop?
The flop was king 2 or something.
So
And
but the ace guy stayed in.
Yeah, it was aces versus kings in the beginning of the like. They both went all in like at the start.
Oh, okay.
But then, so they both went all in. They both flip over their hands, and the guy that we want to lose, like the guy on the government, has kings.
Okay, so
right?
he thinks he's gonna
So
win.
it's kings versus aces. Like everyone in the other parts of the government were just like smiling because they knew that I rigged it, right?
Yeah.
and the flop comes king 2. And they start like giving me the dirtiest looks because they know that the next 2 cards are gonna be aces. And it was like the turn was the ace obviously, and then the river was an ace, and the fucking the other kid goes absolutely insane. He just like flips out, starts freaking out, like celebrating, and the other guy was like, "That's the worst beat I've ever had," you know, like it was just insane. And that was the end of the tournament. I don't think they actually suspected anything.
When did you do this?
In college.
Jesus, that poor guy.
Yeah. Well, not poor guy. He would have ruined his organization. He shouldn't have played.
Was it really that bad?
I mean, if you win your own charity tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks pretty bad, honestly.
It does. I think the biggest thing is that.
I mean, I could have just had him win like 2 paired versus 1 pair.
I don't know, man. I feel like rigging the deck looks fucking worse, but I guess if the story never comes out, it's not a big deal.
Like, it's not. The only person harmed by it is their own government guy, so we gave the certificate to a random person, right?
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't actually hurt this guy. He shouldn't have entered, because he's part of the organization. Like, you shouldn't be able to win your own charity tournament.
Yeah. Just makes it seem like you're setting up for your own guys, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, that's my story. I don't know anything about CSGO.
Well, we like CSGO items, that's about it.
I think Kennegat said that Thorn said it best. He's like, CS:GO might not be everybody's main game, but he's like it's most people's like second game. Like when it comes to like League, StarCraft, Dota people, like almost everybody plays it as like their like hobby game.
I guess that's true. Like, because I feel like Dota used to be like that when people used to play StarCraft. But obviously no other mobile players are going to play Dota as a backup, or at least a very small amount. Whereas because CSGO is different enough, you're like, okay, I'll play that on my free time. But I wouldn't play like Dota and League and Heroes of the Storm and Smite. Like, it's unlikely that there's many players that do that.
Yeah. I'm really glad that, CSGO is doing so well. I think people are always really protective of their own esport, and they think there's like a limited amount of money in the pond or whatever, but Dota's doing fine. CSGO doing well. Shouldn't negatively impact that anyways.
Yeah, it's honestly fine. I doubt they steal viewership from each other.
Yeah. I just think that CSGO right now...
I think it's like the NBA and NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no...
people are...
You shouldn't be... Like, this is one of the main problems I had with the StarCraft community, was that it's like, there's this like, sense that it needs to be monogamous, like it's like a relationship or something, and it's not that you can just watch multiple esports. Like, it's not a big deal, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was referencing, by the way, is that I remember I used to be really into StarCraft, and whenever like any other esport got brought up, like there would just be like a lot of hate towards it. There would just be like reasons why that esport would die fast or something like that.
Yeah, it's very it's insecurity based.
Yeah,
but,
and
I think it's fine to like watch too. Like, I watch StarCraft still. I watched like WCS. It was really amazing the final weekend. But I also watch the other things, just like I watch baseball and basketball and football. I don't think
definitely
NFL
not
fans
baseball.
Are, like, yeah, definitely not baseball. But like, it's not like NFL fans are like, oh, you watch the NBA? Like, what are you, some sort of like perfectly round ball trader or something like that? Like, I'm not gonna say like that. Like, come on.
I think FPSs are always going to be popular just because they're easy to follow and it's easy to see, like the skill in it, and I don't know, it's like pretty basic to understand the game. Like, obviously there's a ton that goes into it, like nades and timings and all that, But from a casual viewer perspective, like it's really easy to follow, as opposed to a game like Dota where you have to know the terminology, which is why Valve has the noob stream with Kevin, of course. You don't need to have somebody actively explain like those basic principles, right? Like at its core, it's you point, you shoot.
Yep, you see guns, you see people die.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's really straightforward. You don't need to
you
know
can
any
kind
strategy.
of piece it together for yourself.
Don't you think there's an issue with the United States mainstream looking at CS:GO and being like, you play as terrorists and you try and plant a bomb somewhere? Like, don't you think that could be an issue?
No. Why would it? Do you think people really consider that?
As long as they don't play hostage mode on stream, I don't think anyone's going to care.
Yeah.
What if they made a map that's like the World Trade Center?
Did you hear about that?
Might be an issue.
Yeah. There's some stuff.
Or the White House or
like
something that you could go to the White House and try and like plant, like, you know what I mean? Like if they made a direct map that was like the White House, or like something like because it's kind of cool to play, because you know that kid that made a replica of his school in CS:GO?
He got suspended or whatever.
He got suspended
Oh,
or
really?
expelled or whatever. He made like an exact replica of his school, and obviously everyone played on that map because it's fucking amazing. If you could play in your school, Counter-Strike, right? Like a place that you know.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that you could just
his,
use
like-
the call-out signs as like your actual physical locations
Yeah,
that you and
that'd
your
be
friends
awesome.
know.
If they like made one of like Times Square or whatever, like I would definitely play that shit. But, you know, having bomb sites there, I don't know. People might have an issue with that.
God, that's really obnoxious that he got suspended for it, but I understand
Yeah.
kind of why.
He's like probably a pretty sick map maker too, because made it like super realistic.
That stuff's just kind of dumb. I remember there was a kid in my high school that did like trap shooting as a hobby or something like that, and one day he wore a T-shirt of like some shotgun ammunition brand to school, and he got in trouble. And he was like one of our smartest students by far, and he thought it was really unfair because obviously you can wear a football shirt. It's like if there's anything that has association with something that can be used to kill people, it's like all of a sudden you can't wear it at school. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well then, no shirts advertising Dota. Obesity. Greater
What?
danger than school shoe shootings.
No Lesh shirts. At least 20 is overpowered.
I've got a Techie shirt that has like an explosion thing on it. From TI. I'm sure that's fine. Nobody looks at me
Should have
funny.
sold that shirt before he got nerfed. The genuine T-shirt.
It's definitely going down in value.
Dude, how long has it been? Has this been an hour? Have we gone?
Oh yeah, we've been in over. I'm in another game.
Holy crap! Okay,
already,
okay,
so-
then should we end it here?
No, we should keep going. 30 more minutes.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not. I'm so tired.
Yeah, let's.
Is it CS:GO time, Kevin?
No, definitely not.
Dude, it's 1 a.m. I need to go to sleep. I have work tomorrow.
Me too.
Are you
What do
gonna
I have?
upload this tomorrow, Purge?
Probably yeah.
All right. Well, it was fun, guys. I enjoyed the story swapping the
Me
most.
too. That was good. We'll do that more. If you guys have more ideas for stuff, write them in the comments. I really quickly browsed over them from last time, so thanks everybody for your suggestions. I know some of them we stole. I guess that's about it. Any shoutouts from you guys?
Blitz, you want to go first? Shoutouts.
Shout out to EGM, because he'll get mad if I don't. Shout out to Cap, my favorite person to cast with. Cool dude. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to the guy who believed in my mid Enchantress and played Jungle Storm. Can't remember who else.
Any callouts?
Any callouts? Yeah, I hope Fire does well at ESL.
It's not a callout.
That's not a
It
call
kind
out.
of is, isn't
It
it?
really isn't. That's a
Why is
shout
that
out.
not? Why is that? That is a shout out.
Is
It's
it?
positive. Callouts are like negative.
Yeah, call outs are
I
negative.
don't want to negatively.
You have to be
call out
like,
anybody.
fuck that guy in my pub that went so and so and sucked. Like shout out, like call out to my troll warlord that went 0-9 and 9 and lost me MMR today. Like
Yeah, I'd like to call out and shout out to the guy that saw that we had 3 carries and then randomed Ursa last, but then somehow carried us and won us the game. So like, I'd like to call you out and shout you out, I guess. That actually happened to me. We had 4 agility carries.
oh,
and we won.
I got a really good call out to the guy that random Chen first. Didn't tell us that he didn't know how to play it, and it was level 3 at 8 minutes with 0 ganks. Call out to that guy. Fuck that guy.
That's a strong word, Kevin.
Yo, he messed my game up real bad. He had no idea how to play Chen efficiently.
I would
Was it
also like
solo
to
queue?
shout out.
Yeah, it
I would
was
like
a
to
solo.
shout out Charlie Monolith Yang.
What a guy Charlie is, honestly.
Yeah, Charlie
Very
and,
underappreciated.
and Rob and Ben and Grace for going bouldering with me today for the first
Damn,
time.
I'm so
They
jealous.
took me bouldering.
Go, my sister,
I
honestly.
love rock climbing.
You do?
Yeah, dude, that shit's
You
great.
should have came with us.
My body is made for climbing things.
Are you serious? Are you
Yeah.
good at it?
Yeah.
Have you
I like
climbed a V3?
I don't remember which one that is, but I've done like rock climbing like recreationally since I was a kid. I camp and stuff like that.
Oh my god, you're probably really good. You need to teach me how to do it.
No, I'm not like good, but for like your average person, I really like climbing. It's fun.
Was my sister better than you and Ben?
I was about as good as your sister, and she's definitely better than Ben.
Okay.
Like, your sister is like 5'2", and like I think pretty strong for her like height and weight.
Oh, yeah, Grace is really in shape.
Yeah, so I mean, like I think I did all the stuff that she could do.
Yeah.
But I think she's abnormally good at it, honestly.
Okay.
Like it was my first time, and I think I did whatever is 1+. I think that's what I did. I couldn't do
Okay.
it 2. I couldn't do V2.
Grace
It
is...
was- But she was pretty good. She could do all the ones I could do.
Cool. Are we done?
That's it. I don't got anything else.
Nope, I'm good too.
All right, we'll see you guys in 3 more weeks. Bye.
Later.